Hi, everyone. My name is Meredith, and I would like to welcome you to the Keep It Pro training call brought to you by Networking Wisdom each and every Sunday at 4 p.m. Pacific for the past 7.5 years. This call is geared for the entrepreneur inside of you, the part of you that wants to grow and succeed. Here, you will not only learn business skills, but also life skills that will take you to the next level. I have the honor and privilege to introduce the creator and host of this call, Mr. Romacio Fulcher. Some of you may have heard of him and his many accolades in the world of network marketing. And for those of you who have never heard him speak, you are in for quite the experience. Romacio is an extremely successful international entrepreneur, as well as a sought-after leader, trainer, coach, and mentor. Romacio not only teaches others, but he himself applies what he teaches through his intense focus and dedication, which has allowed him to achieve unprecedented success. In the 7 years I've known Romacio, I've seen him build a team of over 750,000 people. I've seen him do over $2 billion in sales. I've seen him break records in network marketing, become one of the world's top MLM income earners, and help thousands of people all over the world make life-changing income. Although Romacio loves the network marketing industry, over the last several years, Romacio shifted gears and entered the commodities and finance world. This change was not by choice, but rather he was guided by God to take this new uncharted path. Using his strong faith and work ethic, he has excelled at this industry as well, opening up doors of expansion that he would have never known existed if he had not followed God's instructions. Having said that, his true love is still to share his experiences and knowledge to help others achieve their goals. He is here today to do what he does best, lay out success principles and strategies in a way that is simple and easy to understand. His goal is to bless people with the knowledge he has accumulated through his own life experiences and to be an example for everyone of how consistent faith can bring great success. Over the last 3 years I've worked with him, I've seen miracles occur right in front of us because of his strong faith. He has been an incredible example for me throughout the years, and I'm honored to get to work with him day in and day out. Romacio is here on this call today to serve you, to teach you, to enlighten you. I recommend that you grab a pen and paper and get ready for what he has in store for you today. Whether this call enlightens you or provides confirmation of what you already know, you're going to want to take notes. Without further ado, let me get out of the way and introduce your millionaire mentor, marketplace minister, Mr. Romacio Fulcher. Are you there?
Absolutely, I am here. Can you hear me, Meredith?
Yes, I can.
Thank you so much, as always, for stepping up and doing what you do. Thank you. We appreciate you. Guys, I want to welcome all of you guys back again for another edition of the Sunday Keep It Pro training call. Over 7 years plus we've been doing this call. I want to welcome you guys with open arms. If this is your first time, give you a little bit of a treat of what you're in for. On this call, guys, we teach 2 specific things every single Sunday. Number 1, we teach the specific skills on what you need to be successful at whatever business it is that you may be promoting. Once again, we teach you the specific skills that you need. So nothing general, but rather specific. The second thing that we teach is we also teach life skills as well. What you're going to find on your journey as you're an entrepreneur that you're going to need both specific skills and you're certainly going to need wisdom that will grow you in life skills as well. Therefore, that's the reason why we teach both of them hand in hand. Today's topic, guys, is something that we're going to dive into. The theme of today's call is asking the right questions. I'm really going to do the best I can. I'm driving, but I'm going to do my very best to unpack this heavy message here today. Guys, don't worry about writing anything down. As you know, these calls are recorded, and they're instantly uploaded to our YouTube channel for you to re-listen to. Can you imagine that? 7 years worth of calls right there on YouTube for you to re-listen to and gain and garner as much as you can. Like the little boy said, can all you get all you can, and can all you get, right? It's some good stuff here on these calls. And so, listen, we don't ask for anything. We don't charge you to listen. We've never asked for a credit card, and we never will. The only thing we'd like you to do, guys, is we'd like you to subscribe to the philosophy of which we do this call under, and that is we believe We firmly believe what we make happen for others, God will gladly make it happen for us. If you're trying to figure out what the recipe is to having a better life, what the recipe is to achieving more in life, having better relationships, it's about serving. Once again, it's about serving. What I make happen for others, God will turn right back around and make it happen for me. It's a principle. It's not a figure of speech. It's not a colloquial saying. It's a principle. Principles have no respect of name nor person, but rather they work for all mankind. All. It's a principle. Give, and it shall be given unto you. That's right. That's your answer. Now let's go ahead and dive into this. Let's unpack this message here today about asking the right questions. Guys, I want to share with you, and I would ask you to remember what I'm about to say right now. The quality of your life is in direct proportion to the quality questions that you ask yourself. Let me say that again. The quality of your life is in direct proportion to the questions that you ask. Listen, I don't know if you know by now, but questions is what leads us into finding out things. Questions is what leads us into discovery mode, to discovering, pursuing. Questions. Oftentimes, though, many of us, we ask ourselves the wrong questions. And the wrong questions will always give you the wrong answers. Let me say that again. The quality of my life is in direct proportion to the questions that I ask myself. The quality of my life is in direct proportion to the questions that I ask myself. You know, self-talk is the best talk in the entire world. Listen, I'm no fool. I realize that we have people listening to this call live and those of you that listen to the replay, and we've got people from all around the world that listen. I'm no dummy. I understand that, you know, each of us are at different places in our life. Some of us are struggling with relationship challenges. Some of us are struggling with, you know, perhaps a decision that you're looking to make. Maybe it might be about a relationship. Maybe it might be about a job or a business. Maybe it might be how to do a particular thing. Some of us are struggling with health challenges. Some of us are struggling with money, finance challenges. And some of us are struggling with all of the above, parenting challenges, whatever it may be. Listen to me. I'm giving you the answer. The quality of your life is in direct proportion to the quality questions that you ask yourself. Now, what we're going to do is it's important that you understand the wrong questions, but it's also important that you understand the right questions to ask yourself. So what I want to start with is I want to start with the wrong questions that we ask ourselves. And again, you don't have to worry about writing this down because it is recorded, and I want you to focus and pay attention right now, because as I take you down this list of the wrong questions to ask ourselves, you're going to notice that some of these questions are the very same questions that you asked yourself. And these, ladies and gentlemen, are a list of the wrong questions. We're going to start here first, okay? So, and this applies to, it doesn't matter if it's relationship, if it's money, if it's work, business, if it's health, if it's spiritual matters. These are a list of the wrong questions. Why are they wrong? Because they're going to lead you to the wrong answers. In layman's term, you ask dumb questions, you get dumb answers. That simple. It's that simple. All right? So let me kind of take you down a list of some of the wrong questions. So, why am I so fat? Wrong question. Why am I so slow? Wrong question. Why am I still with this man? Wrong question. Why did I not leave her a long time ago? Wrong question. Why did I never get pregnant and have a baby? Wrong question. Why am I not married? Wrong question. Why haven't I gotten my promotion yet? Wrong question. Why am I still on this job? Wrong question. Why am I still struggling with recruiting? Wrong question. Why do I still eat McDonald's? Wrong question. Why are my kids so disrespectful? Wrong question. Why am I 5'9"? Wrong question. Why don't I like dogs? Wrong questions. Why am I not a good public speaker? Wrong question. Why am I not good at math? Wrong question. Why can't she cook? Wrong question. Wrong question. Why am I not good at technology? Wrong question. Why can't I understand the Bible? Wrong question. I'm just taking you down a list, guys, of all the wrong questions. And I want you to notice something. There's a pattern. There's a pattern in every single question that I just asked to myself. They all started with why. Well, if God really cares about all the boys and girls, and he cares about all mankind, then why did so-and-so get shot last night? Why is my son in the hospital? Why is this happening to my mother? Why did it happen to my daddy? Why? Wrong. Now, some of you might not like the language of me just flat out being blunt and telling you they're wrong questions. Yes, they're wrong because they don't lead you to anywhere productive. Write that down. Yeah, please get the pen now. Write that down. They don't lead you to anywhere productive. And it's so important. Self-talk is the most important talk in the entire world. Listen, I know we all have friends, and it's always good to be around, good, positive people. But listen, but the most important conversation you will ever have is the one that you have with yourself. No, I think you've been underrating that. I think you have been underrating how you talk to you. Yes, I'm talking to you. I know that society makes it seem like it's okay to say these little off-the-cuff things that we just say to ourselves. These little sarcastic comments that we say to ourselves. But you fail to realize that the way you communicate with you is everything. Because the quality of your life is in direct proportion to the quality questions that you ask yourself. So the way that you communicate to yourself is everything. And some of you beat yourself to death. You beat yourself to death. Why can't I never do anything right? Wrong question. Yes, I want to stay on this for another 5 to 10 minutes about how all these wrong questions, because I want to completely come against, annihilate that spirit of just us asking ourselves the wrong questions that leads to demonic places. It leads to demonic answers. It leads to low self-esteem. It leads to low productivity. It doesn't lead to anywhere productive. And I want to make sure that those of you that will invest the time to be on this call, that you receive this message. If you would just learn how to effectively communicate with you, I promise you. Have you ever heard the scripture? If God is with you, then it don't matter who's against you. If you would just learn how to communicate effectively with you, then it doesn't matter what anyone else has to say. Because the most important conversation is the one you have with yourself. Are you guys getting what I'm talking about? Are you picking up what I'm putting down? Sharing with you all of these wrong questions. What's wrong with my blood work? Wrong questions. Why do I get headaches all the time? Wrong question. Why am I always sick? Wrong questions. These are all the wrong questions. And the reason, you have to understand, when you ask yourself a question, you have to come up with an answer. So it's not like you can talk to yourself and ask a question and don't answer. Your brain, when you give your brain an assignment, it has to respond. I'm going to say that again. Somebody missed that. When you give your brain an assignment, in other words, a question, it has to respond. Like if I were to say to myself, what am I going to eat right now? Well, my brain would say, well, I don't know. Well, what about this? What about that? What about? In other words, it would start going through a matter of choices of different foods I can eat. What's my point? The point I'm making to you is that the questions you ask yourself, the question that you ask yourself is extremely important. Listen, I'm deliberately repeating myself. No, I'm not slow. I need you to get this. I know you think you're so smart, and you are, but I'm showing you how to be smarter. Stop asking yourself the wrong questions, expecting to get to the right destinations. Listen, let me give you some spiritual context on how we know that this is true. I really, truly believe that every single one of you listening, all of you, every one of you listening, and I'm going to say something very strong, and some of you are going to love it, and some of you are not. It's okay. It comes from a place of love. I believe that every single one of you listening to me right now, there's no way that you could convince me that you really, really, truly know yourself and know the fullness of you if you don't have a relationship with God. There's no way I would believe you. Now, does that mean what I believe, that you know some attributes about yourself? I do. I would believe that. I mean, you've been with yourself all this time. I'm sure you know something. But in terms of for you to know the fullness of you and the power of you and how you were designed and what your possibilities and capabilities are, unless you know God, unless you have a relationship with your Creator, which is the one who created you, there's no way you can convince me that you really, really, truly know all of you. So what does that tell me? That tells me you are still in the mode of discovering yourself. And I'm going to prove to you right now that the way that you talk to yourself is the most important conversation you could ever have. It's more important than the way you talk to your wife. It's more important than the way you talk to your husband. It's more important than the way you talk to your children. It all starts with the way that you talk to yourself. I'm going to prove it to you right now. If you would just look through the scripture and you would begin to look at the way that God spoke to you, the way that God speaks to humans, the way that he spoke to his child, to his children, which is you and I, if you would just go back and take a look at how does God talk to us? How does he commune with us? How does he communicate with us? Very important. It's very important. Listen, you need to write this down. Somebody needs to write this down. Because if you're not going to understand the origin which means beginning of communication, then that's probably why you're doing it wrong. That's probably why you're blaming your mother, your father, and how you grew up, and you're blaming someone else. Well, I talk this way because this is how I grew up, and this is what I know. Listen, sometimes what you know is not what you need to know. Sometimes what you know, that may be true, but that's not the whole story. That's not the whole story. So what I'm telling you right now, guys, it's important that you go back to the very beginning, to the very God's word. That's right. That's right. I didn't stutter. And you investigate. I want you to learn for yourself how God talks to you, how he talks to his kids, his sons, his daughters, which is you and I. Even when we're in trouble, even when we've made mistakes, even when it's taken us forever to finally make that decision that God wanted us to make a long time ago. You better. I'm dead serious about this. I'm not coming in light on this. I won't back down on this. This is very important, guys. Because see, have you ever heard this? Wherever you go, there you are. In other words, you bring you with you everywhere you go. Wherever you go, there you are. So you're always with you. When you're doing good things, when you're doing bad things, you're always there. You're always on the scene, right? So the way that you talk to yourself, it's vitally important. I cannot stress this enough to you of how important this is. And see, some of you are listening to me saying, oh, yeah, I get what he's saying. Yeah, I know. No. Listen to me. The devil comes to kill, steal, and destroy. That is the devil's clear agenda. The devil is a liar. He's the father of lies. Now listen, the devil attacks us all in our thought process. That's where the devil, that's his camping ground. But listen to me. I'm going to say it again. The devil comes to kill, steal, and destroy. And he attacks us in our thought process. See, this is why it's so important what you are saying to yourself. See, some of you think, well, yeah, I'm having a conversation in my head, and yeah, all sorts of things going on in my mind. Well, I need to know, I want to know, what are you saying to yourself? I understand you got pregnant at a young age. What are you saying to yourself? I understand you slipped and fell in your relationship. What are you saying to yourself? I know you said you wasn't going to eat that anymore, and you did it again. What are you saying to yourself? I know you might have, done something you shouldn't have done. What are you saying to yourself? I know you feel like it's been taking you a long time to progress from faith to faith, from thing to thing. What are you saying to yourself? What are you saying to yourself? The quality of your life is in direct proportion to the quality questions that you ask yourself. Ladies and gentlemen, have you ever heard the statement, you're one thought away from the breakthrough you really need? You're one thought away. One thought away. Somebody write that down. I'm one thought away. Now, what does that mean that I'm one thought away? Here's what it means. It means I'm one question away. It means if questions are what ignites us to pursue something, if questions is what drives us to go this direction or that direction, or do this or don't do that, if questions is the igniter, that means I'm one question away. You've been asking the wrong question. That's my whole message here today. That's my whole message. You've been asking the wrong question about why you're so fat. You've been asking the wrong question about your diet choices. You've been asking the wrong question about your relationship choices. You've been asking the wrong question about this, about that. You've been asking the wrong question about why have I not gotten my promotion. You have been asking the wrong question. And whether you like it or not, life is a big puzzle. And I'm going to be honest with you, I don't like this about life. I really don't. I'm going to tell you the truth, guys. I don't. I don't like the fact that life is a puzzle. I hate it, to be honest with you. Yes, I'm telling you the truth. Can I be real? I hate it. That you got to figure out, oh, that's not the wrong piece. Okay, what piece goes here? Okay, that did. I hate it. Can somebody just tell me how to do this thing? Just why do I got to go explore and put this and do this puzzle and get that piece with that piece and that piece not right? And wait a minute, this fits, but this kind of fit. Wait a minute, I thought that fit. They said it was going to fit, but it didn't fit. Why can't somebody? I'm sorry. Go ask Christopher Columbus. He started with this whole adventure. He started with this whole discovery thing, right? This is life, guys. This is how life is. It is a puzzle. And you've got to figure out the pieces of the puzzle and put it together. Yes, you do. Yes, you do. Yes, you do. And so what am I saying? I'm saying to you that the way that you talk to yourself, it's everything. It's everything. The questions that you ask you is everything. See, listen, I want to go back again. I encourage all of you listening, the best way you can really receive what I'm telling you today is to establish a relationship with God. Establish a relationship. And I want you to learn. I want you to be interested in learning, how does God talk to us? How does God talk to us? How does God talk to me? And if God is the creator or the author, if he's the Alpha, which means first, and the Omega, which means last, he's the beginning and the end, and he created us in his image, doesn't it make sense to copy his style of communication? The creator who created me knew how to talk to me. He knew what I would respond to best. Why would I go off into the weeds and try and adopt some other style of communication which is going to be subpar to what I was originally designed to respond to? Let me prove my point again. Have you seen how many people are in the world? All these different people, all these different shapes, sizes, races, ethnicities. Have you seen how great of a job God did in creating mankind? Was his mission accomplished? Which he said he wanted us to multiply and multiply and multiply and multiply. Is it not happening? So what does that tell me? That tells me that God knew what he was doing when he started this whole thing. See, listen, I'm taking you deeper and deeper and deeper, and I'm doing it intentionally. I won't stop. I'm doing this intentionally because I want you to understand something that you've been overlooking. Communication. Quality questions. Quality questions. Quality questions. It's one thing I really love about my mom, man. She knows what questions to ask and what questions not to ask. And she deliberately won't ask you certain things because she knows that you're going to already be dealing with that on your own. I just love people that just have a sense of wisdom of they know when to say it and when not to say it. I like that a lot. See, what we're talking about today is you learning how to ask yourself the right questions. You are truly one question away from better answers. You're one question away from a better life. And like a puzzle, you got to figure out what it is. All those self-help books you got, all those videos you've been watching, they all lead to what question are you asking yourself to make you take new actions? Let me say it again. All those seminars you've been to, all of those books you read, all of those tapes and CDs and YouTube videos and podcasts that you've been watching and listening to, all of that stuff is good. All that stuff is wonderful. but it leads to one place. In other words, as you summarize all of those listenings that you've done, it leads you to what question are you going to ask yourself that will make you take different actions and get you a better result. So you can't tell me I'm wrong because I know that I'm right. That's why we're having this conversation today. You must learn how to ask yourself the right questions. And what I've said thus far is go and spend some time with God and learn how God talks to us. Learn how he talks to you. And anybody that comes around you and starts cussing up a storm and talking like crazy and using a whole bunch of fear, just walk out, because that ain't God. I can tell you that now. It is so important to not only have a relationship with your Creator, but literally for all of us to be striving to get closer and closer and closer and closer. And the reason why we should do that is because we learn more. More gets revealed. And that's so important. Now, what do I mean when I say more and more gets revealed? Well, there's this beautiful word that I love called perspective. And see, perspective is so important, but if you don't have the right perspective, it can limit you on what questions you will ask yourself that will lead you to a better place. See, in other words, let me give you an example. Let me give you an example. Let's say there was a man and a woman, and they had a baby. And for the sake of an example, we're going to call the baby. We're going to call the baby. We'll just call the baby Mike. I'm just making this up. This is a completely made-up example. Okay. And let's just say they had a baby. And let's just say that the mother and the father, they didn't get along, and for whatever reason they broke up, and the father had control of the baby. He had control of the child. He had parental rights, and he was the primary parent. The father was in this case. And the father began to tell the child that your mother didn't want you, and your mother doesn't like you, and your mother's got all these problems, and your mother's a bad lady. And so your father began to feed into you all this negative and bad stuff about your mother. And so here it is, you become 18, 19, 20 years old, and now, your mom has been trying to have a relationship with you, but you have this perspective that your mother is terrible, she's horrible, she's bad, because that's been seeded into you ever since you were a little bitty baby. So your perspective is limited about your mother. Although you're curious, but your perspective has been limited, it's been shaped because of all the things that your father told you. And so so what I'm saying about why it's important to have a thriving relationship with God, not just a dormant one, but a thriving one, is because the more and more closer you try and get to God, the more and more you want to understand about God's ways and how life works and how things work and what God's intentions are for you and what God thinks is the best for you. All these types, the more and more you do this intentionally, more and more gets revealed to you. And when I talk about the word revealed, see, God knows how you're made up. He knows your idiosyncrasies. He knows your weaknesses. He knows your strengths. He knows everything about you. He knows why you are where you are. He knows your intention. He knows it all. Remember, everywhere you went, God was there too. Everything you seen, God saw it too. He was right there. Okay? So the reason why we want to get closer is so that we can actually get greater revelation. And what that really means is he's going to expect that. He will only do this at your invitation. You have to invite him in. You have to pursue him. You've got to pursue him. He's not just going to come banging down your door to talk to somebody who don't want to be spoken to. Okay? So you gotta invite him in, right? And when you do that, what happens is God now, he will give you a greater perspective. That's what it means when we say revelation. God, give me a revelation. Reveal the untold secrets to me. Reveal to me what it is that I'm missing. Reveal it to me. Reveal it. Somebody say reveal it. Reveal it to me. In other words, I might have been missing it, but I'm asking you to reveal it to me now. I'm asking you, bring me out of the dark into the light and reveal to me about me. And when that happens, all of a sudden, your perspective, it widens. It goes from, oh, wait a minute. Okay, my dad was telling me all those things about my mom, perhaps because my mom and my dad, they didn't get along. And maybe my dad thought he was protecting me by telling me all this negative stuff about my mother. And maybe in actuality, my mother was trying to have a relationship with me, but my dad was blocking that or making it difficult. So here it is. I have all this animosity and anger towards my mother, but maybe in actuality, she was trying to make the best of a bad situation. But no one ever told me that. See, this is the reason why I'm saying to you through this illustration, it's important that you get a strong, thriving relationship with God and ask him to reveal to you. Reveal to you about the mysteries of life. Reveal to you about the mysteries of your development, the questions that you want to know. But see, listen, I'm doing this intentionally. I'm doing this intentionally, guys. But see, what most of us do, no, I don't want no relationship with God. I'm just going to go ahead and keep talking to myself this way, and I'm going to keep saying it, and then we're just going to laugh about it, and that's just what life is, and that's just how it is, and that's just how it goes, and that's, man, that's just life. No. Listen to me. You are responsible for your life. You. Newsflash. You're responsible. And the quality questions that you ask yourself will determine the life that you live. I once upon a time heard a young man say this. I'll never forget it. He said, life is how you see it, and how you see it is how you live it. You know, that was my younger brother, Romacio Fulcher, who said that to me decades ago. I never forgot that. Very, very profound statement. It's true. Life is how you see it, and how you see it is how you live it. You see, so the questions that I ask myself is the fuel that makes me take the step. It's the fuel that unlocks my curiosity about the issue. It's the fuel that makes me say, that's a good perspective. That's a good point you make. You're right about that. Quality questions. So let me help you now, take you down a list of some quality questions. Instead of saying, why am I fat, which is the wrong question, replace it with the right question. What's one thing I can do today to begin having a healthier lifestyle that will help me begin to lose weight? What's one thing I can do? Do you notice the difference between why am I fat? Well, you're fat because you just ate a burger. You're fat just because you eat donuts every day. You're fat because all that's negative. It don't lead nowhere productive. But you ask a dumb question, you get dumb answers. But if you ask yourself the question of what's one thing I can do today? You see how quality of a question that is? What's one thing I can do? But see, where that question comes from is I've had to learn how God talks to me. how God talks to his children. See, God is patient. God is kind. God is also firm. God is loving. Are you getting this? Do you need to re-listen to this audio again? I think you do. Because I don't want you to minimize what I'm saying. I don't want you to overlook or dismiss what I'm saying and trivialize it as if it's small. What I'm saying to you today is gigantic, ladies and gentlemen. Let me just go on record and tell you. It's gigantic. It's what I believe is the missing link for you. And it's the missing link. We're one question away. One question. One question away. Now, I realize I gave you one positive question. I'm going to give you another one. Instead of saying, why have I not been promoted, my job or my business, I want you to carefully notice the way I phrase the question to myself. Is there a way I could find out what's required for me to promote immediately? Oh, I love that question. Come on, boy. Come on, Moss. Come on, Moss. You done did it again, boy. You done did it again. Look at you. You knocked the ball out the park again. You see? Is there a way I can find out what's required for me to promote immediately? That's a quality question that demands a quality response. Oh, man, boy, I like you, boy. I like this. Whoever this guy is talking right now, I like him. I want to listen to this brother again. Yes, sir. You see the difference? Now teach this to your kids. Teach this to your kids. Teach this to your children. But listen, let me show you how you teach them. More is caught than taught. When the kids see you communicating with yourself this way, that's when they learn how to communicate with themselves that way. Ladies and gentlemen, I don't want to belabor the point, but I do want to hit the point very hard. I'm talking to every single spirit that's listening right now. I really believe you need to take a look at the way you've been communicating with you. I really believe you need to take a look at, you need to evaluate, are you asking yourself the right questions about your situation? Now listen. Why is this important? It's important because, see, the devil wants you to ask the wrong questions. He wants you to ask those questions that lead you into a vicious cycle and make you feel fearful and make you feel like you've missed the mark. You've missed the woman of your dreams, the man of your dreams. You've missed it. That's what the devil wants you to feel like it's too late, too bad, I'm so sorry for you. That's what the devil's goal is to distort and to distract you so that you will feel small, useless, worthless, and it's too late, you messed up, you waited too long, I'm sorry. That's what the devil wants to do. And how does he do it? He uses, in his craft of tricks, remember I told you, he's a trickster. You got to watch out for this cat. He's very tricky. He's slick. He's the father of lies. What he does, he uses questions. If he could get you to ask yourself the wrong questions, he's got you going the wrong direction. And that's exactly what his aim is. Do you understand this? That's why this is so important. Now, look, we're talking about questions about your relationship, questions about your parenting, questions about your finance, questions about your health, questions about your spirituality, questions about your friendship, questions about even your Just you. You. We all have little things about us. We all have little things about us that we wonder. Everybody does. And what is the answer? The more and more time that we spend with God, pursuing our faith, growing our relationship with God, the more revelation comes to us. Revelation about our specific situation. Revelation about our specific situation. Okay? That is the answer. Ladies and gentlemen, I want to end the call with this. I am going to spend the next little while, and I don't know how long we're going to be on it. We may be on it for a long time. It's been something that's burning deep inside of me. We've trained on this particular topic that I'm about to mention several times before, but something in me is burning, and I just can't let it go. And that is, I am going to be teaching, really I'm doing this for myself. I'm really doing it for me. So all those that want to learn with me, come with me. But I really firmly believe that the greatest voice you can ever hear is the voice of God. And this is not some old cliche, and I'm trying to sound, catchy and all sound cool and political. Screw all that. No. You see, if God created me, and if God is omnipresent, it means everywhere I'm at, He's there. If He knows all things, He knows everything. And here it is, I've got good intention in me. Yes, I'm flawed. I'm not perfect, and neither are you. But I've got good intention, and I'm trying to figure this thing out, this thing called life. I've got some huge goals, some big things gonna do, blah, blah, blah. And I'm such an aggressive person. I'm very aggressive. If you know anything about me, I'm very, very aggressive. I'm very aggressive. I like it. I do. I don't want to be passive. I'm aggressive. That's me, right? And so the bottom line is this. I got a lot of questions. I got a lot of questions, things I want to do, things I got to do, got to happen now. What's going on? So instead of you listening to everyone else, the most important person, the most important voice you could ever hear is the voice of God relative to your situation. I'm talking about God speaking to you about your situation. No, He didn't already spoke to your daddy. He didn't already spoke to your mama. I'm talking about God speaking to you. That's what I want. And I am just bold enough at 45 that I want to get deep with this thing. I'm not doing it for my mother. I ain't doing it for my daddy. I ain't doing it for my lady. I ain't doing it for my kid. I'm doing it for myself. It's something that I just want. And I just know God is gigantic. I know He didn't put all this in me to trick me. You know what I mean? All these goals and dreams and all this ambition and all this stuff and all this goodness He put in. The Bible says the work that He started in you, He will finish. I actually believe that. I believe that. This work that He started in me, He will finish. And so I'm just of a place where I want to aggressively pursue. Because I'm tired of listening to so-and-so and so-and-so and so-and-so, and everybody got an opinion. Everybody got an opinion. Everybody do. I'm sorry. I'm checked out. I don't care what you think. I don't. Because I'm 45, the clock is ticking, I got things I want to do now, blah, 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 blah. People I want to help, I got stuff to do, and you do too. And so what we're going to do is I'm really going to go very hard, very deep on this topic, and I'm not going to come up off of it, on this topic of hearing God's voice. I mean, I am going to go so deep in it that by the time I come out of this thing, man, I'm going to have a PhD. I'm telling you right now. I'm going to have a PhD by the time I finish with this one. Because I got to get this. And I know if God spoke to Moses face to face, they said Moses was so curious, God came before Moses in the burning bush. And you hear me? Moses was so, I feel like he was, I don't know, maybe he was frustrated at the time. He was curious. He didn't know, like me, he had questions that needed to be answered. And what I like about Moses, I'm just like him. Moses was flawed. I'm flawed. But Moses was chosen by God. And I believe you were chosen by God. I believe I was chosen. We are his chosen people. So we're just as good as Moses. And if God will talk to Moses, he'll talk to me. But that's not it. Jacob, I'm reminded of Jacob. He was tussling and toiling, and he was walking through the abyss, and boom! The Bible says he wrestled with God. Wrestled. Like literally tussled with him. I'm reminded of David. God spoke to David. David needed clarity on how to defeat the people he was going up against. Jehoshaphat, God spoke to him. God spoke to Mary. I mean, listen, all I'm telling you, if God will speak to them, he'll speak to us. But I want to be able to learn. I want to know how to hear his voice so crystal clear. Like in a billion people, if I heard my mother say my name, I would say, that's Colleen. That's my mom. I know her voice. There's no ambiguity. There's no confusion. I don't care if I'm doing good in life, if I'm doing bad in life. That's my mama's voice. I know that voice. Well, that's the same way I want to be with God. And yes, I'm saying God talks to me, but see, listen, remember what I said. The devil's goal is to what? This is why I hope you re-listen to this call. The devil's goal is to what? Is to distract you, to confuse you. That's his goal. And the stronger you are, listen, I'm talking to you strong people. All you strong folk out there, the stronger you are, the more you have to be worded up. The more you have to protect your mind. The more you have to ask the right questions. Because the stronger you are, it's almost like the devil tries to get slicker and slicker and slicker and slicker and slicker and slicker and slicker. And when I say slick, I want you to add the word subtle. It's like he comes real subtle. He's a trickster. That's what he is. So anyway, as you can see, guys, I'm really full here, but we're going to bring this call to a close. But I just wanted you to know, over the next several weeks, months, I don't know, I may go the rest of the year talking about one topic. I'm just going to let the Spirit lead me. That's what I'm going to do. But I know right now I'm doing this for myself and all those that want to join in and come along. Meet me here Sundays, 4 o'clock. Sundays, 4 o'clock Pacific. Tell all your friends. Tell all your friends. By the time we come out of this, we're going to all have a PhD at knowing how to hear God's voice relative to our situation. Should I eat bologna or should I eat steak? Should I do vegetables or should I do meat? Is that my boyfriend or is he not for me? Should I be doing this? Listen, I want all the promises that you said you had for me, all of them, and I want them ASAP. ASAP. It don't take long to make a bunch of money. It don't take long. Whoever told you that was mistaken. It don't take long. You need to ask God for revelation about your situation. Listen, I'm going to say it again, real nice and calm. I saved it for the end. You need to ask God for revelation for your situation. But watch this. If we don't know how to hear his voice, you can't receive the revelation. If we don't know, was that voice, was that God, or was that me? Was that God talking, or was that, I think that was, I'm not sure. See, if we're confused, then we can't receive the revelation. That's why it's so important that we hear his voice. That's why we're going to be talking about this over and 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 over. And if anybody who knows me, I go deep and I go hard in everything I do. I don't know any speed. I don't know any other speed but one speed. Go all out when I want something. And that's where I'm at, because I'm determined to manifest many different things that God put inside me. And I've got to do it now. Listen, I love you guys dearly. Do me a favor. I want you to re-listen to this call 3 times between now and next Sunday. 3 times. That's right. I don't care if you listen to it while you're in the bathtub. I don't care if you listen to this call while you're driving to work. Break it up in 20-minute segments. I don't care if you listen to it, whatever you got to do. Listen to this call. I promise you, if you listen to it 3 times, each time you listen to it, something deeper, more revelation is going to come to you about your situation. I promise you it will. One thing I know for sure, you're one question away. You're one question away. And I know you're sitting there saying, I'm 50, I'm 60, I'm 40, I'm 30, I'm 20, I'm 80 years old. What do you mean you're one question away. You're one question away. Because the quality of your life is in direct proportion to the quality questions that you ask yourself. Hey, guys, listen, I'm Romacio Fulcher, the California Kid. I love you guys, and I'll see you all next Sunday. Thanks for listening, everybody. Goodbye for now.